Hello and welcome to this Mirantis Tech Talk titled Managing All of Your Sites with Open Source Lagoon. What is Lagoon and how does it work? I'll cover this from a couple of perspectives, from the developer perspective and from an operations perspective. But at its very essence, Lagoon is an open source application delivery platform, and it hosts application on Kubernetes. Now, open source application delivery platform is it's a fancy way of saying we've built an IDP, if you know what an internal developer platform is, but our version of this IDP is tailored specifically for web applications. It can do more than just web applications. We'll cover a little bit of that. And it's not necessarily internal because it can be hosted centrally, put in the cloud, and you can provide access to people outside of your team, or you can partition it into different teams. From a developer's perspective, what does this mean? So Lagoon is basically built on a Docker Compose premise. So these builds locally, they'll use Docker and they'll use Docker Compose on your local machine to build these applications. So any developer who's familiar with a Docker-based workflow, which at this stage is a fairly large portion of the developer universe, will be able to build their application, make sure that they get pixels perfect and they get theme flows running and they get all their interactions working just right before committing their code into Git, pushing it up to Git, and then Lagoon will take over. From an operations perspective, this reliance on Docker and Docker Compose allows developers to self-start locally. So if they've got a template, if they're working on an existing project, they can just pull it down from Git to their local machine and they should be up and running straight away. I can't say it enough times. Having to avoid developers knowing about Kubernetes is a really big thing. So Lagoon's got a full suite of tools called Insights, and it's got some really nice functionality around managing organizations and groups. Why is open source important to us? Lagoon is 100% open source. Our code's all available on GitHub, github.com/uselagoon. I'll put the link up in a bit. But it's really important for us to be open source. And we believe that code transparency is the number one place that we've seen the benefits. We've all used SaaS or PaaS applications in the past, and we've tried to figure out how something works, how something fits together, why it does what it does. Code transparency allows our users and our customers to be able to see exactly what's happening.